Hi, it's Peter again from Guitar Smarts. Welcome to the in-depth video on the first Noel. We're going to start with the actual tab, the melody. You may hear me say the words flat picking when you're picking out a tune or a scale, you're flat picking. The method by which we read it on paper is referred to as tab. Musically speaking, whether you're a voice, a singer, an instrument, we're playing the melody with the tab. The technique on the guitar is flat picking. So we're going to start at the very beginning. Second position is where this starts. You'll notice that at the 4-2 is the first three notes reversed of your D major scale, which in fact is a good thing to practice. You'll see at the end of the tab that is the D major scale. That's always, always, always a great thing to have under your fingers. Playing scales is very important. Melodies, in this case the first Noel, are generally made from scales. Scales go in order of step, 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 step. Sometimes melodies go in that same order. Sometimes they go in the reverse order. Sometimes they jump over strings, or what we call leaps in the melody and that sort of thing. But just know that playing scales and practicing scales is extremely important regardless of the instrument, voice, and so on. It's a very, very musical thing to learn. So second position means our index finger is rooted in the second fret. Remember, wherever your index finger is, that's your position on the guitar. So the first 8 measures we're going to take very slowly for the first Noel tab, starting on the 4th fret of the 4th string. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, play. Da da da. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, play. You'll notice everything in that melody so far is in scale fashion. Step, 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 step. Except for those 2 notes right there. The 3rd fret of the 2nd string and the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. That would be considered a leap or a jump. Okay, that's measures 1 to 8. So we're going to start 2 notes before measure 9. In actual fact, it's the last 2 notes of the first line of music, 4-2. It's where the melody starts again, and then we go to the second line. 1, 2, 3, 1, play. Okay, so now we're going to start at measure 16, still in second position. The last 2 notes of measure 16, count your measure numbers. You'll see that the measures are marked at the beginning of each line, and just count the boxes over. So measure 16 starts with a 4-2, and then it goes into the what appears to be the start of the melody again, but it does change. So we're going to start at the 4-2 in measure 16. 1, 2, 3, 1, play. Leap. Okay, so now we're going to jump ahead to measure 24. It's the same melody, but it's an octave higher. And we're still in the second position, but we're on the bottom string, starting on the 2nd fret of the bottom string, 2, 0, 3. So that's measure 24, starting on the 2, 0, 3. We are only going to play as far as measure 26. Then, as you can tell, we run out of room with these 4 fingers to reach the next note, which is the 7th fret. So here we are in the 2nd fret, 2nd position. We are going to shift when it's time to play that number 7. We're going to shift our entire hand up to the 7th position. Incidentally, you'll notice that most guitars have a dot on the 3rd fret, 5th fret, and 7th fret. So sometimes you don't really have to look down so much to see where 7 is. Look at the top dots and just put your finger there. So we're aiming for 7th position, 7, 9, 10 in a moment. Back to measure 24 and 2, 0. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, play. 2, 0, 3. Shift to 7th position. 7, 9, 10. Jump to the B string, 10. B string again, 8, 7. So replay the video if you have to see that part again. Remember, we're sliding from 2nd position to 7th position. And there's a note on the B string in the 10th. You'll also see one on the 8th fret and the 7th fret of the B string. So that takes us all the way up to measure number 32. If you look at measure 32, you'll notice we're back to the 2nd position again. But be ready to bump back up to the 7th position. So 32 with the 2, 0. 1, 2, 3, 1, play. Jump to 7. B string. 7th. B string. Now we are over to measure 40 and we're back into the 2nd position again, but we're not going to stay there very long. So measure 40, we're going to play from 40 to 42, and then we're going to have to jump to the 7th position, and I'll tell you exactly where. So measure 40, 2, 0. 1, 2, 3, 1, play. Jump to 7th position. Notice it is a 10, 9, 7 this time, but you're in 7th position. 10, 9, 7. And that's all you do is the 10, 9, 7. Notice that the next note is a 9, then a 10, then a 12, then a 14. Put your index finger in 9th position and just hit it and slide to 10 like this. Try it again. Now notice what I'm about to do here. 9, 10, 12, 14, 12. I'll do that again. One more time. And that's out of 10th position because you're sliding into 10th from 9. So at measure 45, we finish the tune in 7th position. Ready, play. Skip to the B string, 8. So it's a matter of stopping the video and going back and looking at my hand positions to see where I am for various parts of the song. And 2nd position is quite popular in this tune. 7th position and 10th position. So that's 2nd, 7th, and 10th with a slide between 9 and 10 to get you comfortably into 10th position. So take as much time as you need just to sort out the details with hand positioning and which fingers that you're going to use to play each of the notes in the tab melody for the first Noel. Okay, the first Noel chord line, or the accompaniment, that's something when you play with another guitar player, you can have actually as many players as you want on each part. You could have 4 people strumming the chords and 4 people playing the tab, the melody. You could have 2 and 4 or 4 and 2, 10 and 10. It's all up to you. But just make sure the balance works. Make sure that the accompaniment, the chords, are not overpowering the melody in a performance situation. That would be the only thing. The tune that people really need to hear is the tab tune, the melody. That needs to stand out. So I'm going to look at 3 options today for playing the accompaniment or the chord part. I'm going to look at the easy version first. So the easy version has basically 4 chords to it. G, A7. Just think of an easy 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And when I play a 3 strum like that, I tend to hit the bass note first. 1, strum. Bass note. Bass note. So the only thing I really want to talk about with the strummed accompaniment are the measures that have 2 chords in it. Every other measure in this particular arrangement is basically 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Because if that single chord is all by itself in the measure, then it gets the 3 beats. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and so on. But if you see a measure that has an E minor in it, and an A7 in it, the first chord gets 2, so it's 1, 2, and the next chord gets the last beat, 3, and then you're into the next bar. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and you'll also see that after the D chord, E minor, A7, D, A7, it becomes 2 beats for the E minor, 1 for the A7, 2 beats for the D, 1 for the A7, like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Otherwise, the entire piece is basically done with 3 beats to the bar. So the rule is 1 chord per bar, that chord gets 3 beats. 2 chords per bar, the first chord gets 2, the next chord gets 1. That's generally it. So the intermediate version just has a few alternate chords, a little more advanced in other words. One of those chords is D over F sharp. Well, here's D. The F sharp note that it's over is this one here in the 2nd fret. So how we play that is basically, instead of going index on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, ring finger, 3rd finger, on the 2nd string, 3rd fret, we leave that one there. We take our middle finger, go to the 3rd string, 2nd fret, so it replaces this guy, and we put this one on the top. And we get a D chord, or most of a D chord, over an F sharp note, and means over because the D notes, the D chord notes, are higher in pitch. The F sharp note is lower in pitch because it's on the bass string. So it's D over F sharp. So I'm going to play that in context at the very first line where it says D, D over F sharp, G, D over F sharp. Here we go. So the next alternate chord is the B minor chord. You'll find that at measure 17. B minor is generally played like this. I like to play it in bar form like this. Some people tend to use the 1, 2, 3 step up method like that. That's really a B minor over a D because your open D string rings out. Either will work for sure. So I'm going to play that in context, but I'm going to start at measure number 9 for this one. 9, 1, D over F sharp, G, D over F sharp, G, D over F sharp, E minor, D. Here comes the B minor. Now our next chord is F sharp minor. And it gets a full 3 beats. D over F sharp, B minor, F sharp, E minor, A7, and repeat. So just to review that, B minor can be played this way. It sounds much better this way. Hear that bass note? B to F sharp. So B minor, F sharp, G, D over F sharp. Those are the only alternate chords in the intermediate version of the first Noel. Okay, so let's look at the broken chord style version of the accompaniment. Remember, broken chord is taking a chord which is solidly strummed like that and breaking it up one string at a time. So when you take a chord and you hit each individual string, you are breaking that chord, hence broken chord. So we are going to use the B 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. Bass, third string, second string, third string, second string, third string. That's all that means. Your bass note, then your third string, second string, third string, second string, third string. B 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. If your bass note's on a G up here, and remember to watch the broken chord videos 1, 2, and 3 on YouTube that Guitar Smarts has done, showing you how to find bass notes. 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. E minor, A7. But a quick review, however, your D bass note is the 4th string. Your G bass note is the 6th string, this note right here. Your E minor bass note is also the 6th string. It's an E string. Your A bass note is the 5th string. It's the A string. So here's that pattern in the first 8 measures. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Second bar, bass, G chord, back to D chord, G, only part of it, the pattern bass 3, 2, 3, 2, 3 happens if you have a chord that lasts the entire bar. In the case of the 7th bar, you will see the E minor A7. In the case of the 8th bar, you'll see the D and A7 inside the same bar. Just play the first 3 notes of that pattern. So you're looking at bass 3, 2. That's it. Bass 3, 2, then strum. I'll do it again. Bass 3, 2, strum. 8th bar. Bass 3, 2, strum. Now play both of those bars one after the other and you'll see how it actually gives you time and room to switch chords comfortably from a broken chord pattern to a strum, back to a broken chord pattern to a strum. Here we go. E minor. Back to the full pattern. Okay, so you can see how there needs to be, at certain times in your guitar playing career, modifications to the patterns you're doing or to the strumming you're doing to make it work in the song. And don't be afraid to change that. In other words, when teachers give you exact patterns to play and say stick to the pattern, stick to the pattern, that works as long as you have one chord for every bar and that particular pattern fits that bar or measure. Measure and bar are the same thing. But invariably, you're going to notice that you're going to have to make some modifications. So in this particular case, we have 2 chords in a bar. 1. So take that little piece of technique and apply that to every place that you have 2 chords in a bar, and it will work everywhere in this piece. So what we just did there was we played the simple version with a pick using a broken chord pattern. Now I'm going to play the intermediate version, first 8 bars or so, using the pick and the broken chord pattern. So in the intermediate version, you get to contend with not only the G on the top string and the E bass note on the top string, but the F sharp on the top string. And you get to deal with the B bass note if you're playing the bar chord version of B minor, or the 4th string bass note if you're using the 4-string version of B minor. And the top string here on the 6th string for the F sharp minor chord. So I'm going to show you how to incorporate that in the pick version of the broken chord pattern. So here's the very, very, very beginning. 1 and 2 and 3 and D over F sharp, G, D over F sharp. Sounds very nice. G. 2 chords now. D over F sharp, G, D over F sharp. Hit that bass note solidly. E minor A7. Minor, F sharp, G, D over F sharp, B minor, F sharp minor, E minor, and there you've seen every possible combination of the chords in the intermediate version. So take what I've shown you, even stop the video and go back and review that. Just a quick review on bass notes again. D is the 4th string, that's your bass note. G is the 6th string. E minor is the 6th string. D over F sharp is the 6th string. Your 5th string, A, B minor if you're using that one. 4th string if you're going to use that version of the B minor. If you use the step-up version of the B minor, you would also have to use the 4th string as well. It doesn't sound musically as satisfying as this one, but these two do work quite well. Okay, fingerstyle, broken chord technique, breaking it down. And remember, thumb always goes to bass note, and we're using 1 and 2, these 2 fingers on your 3rd string and your 2nd string. Up close would be 3rd string, index, 2nd string, middle. So those 2 fingers are going to stay there for the first Noel in this arrangement, and the thumb is going to go to the bass note every time. So bass, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, those are string numbers. Thumb, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Those are finger numbers. So you're talking string numbers when you're talking broken chord patterns. You're talking finger numbers, thumb and finger numbers when you're talking fingerstyle. So, here hear that? That's exactly what we did with the pick, but these two fingers are parked on the third and second string. Thumb is parked on the bass one. So I'm going to do the intermediate version. If you can apply what the intermediate version requires from fingerstyle, the easy version is that much easier because it's that much more simple. Your thumb goes to the bass notes on D, G, E minor, and A. These two fingers park themselves on string 3 and 2. That's it for the easy version. Now I'm going to do the intermediate version, fingerstyle. I'm going to talk through it as I play it. Ready, go. Thumb, D over F sharp, G, back to D over F sharp. Thumb is playing the top string, bass note. D over F sharp, E minor, 3 notes. Now what did I do there? Let's go to the E minor, 3 notes just like we did with the pick in the broken chord technique. Now in the broken chord technique with the pick we strummed the A7. But in this case we're doing fingerstyle. So the strum version, if you like, of fingerstyle is the block where you pull all the fingers on the strings at the same time. So it's your bass note, 3, 2. So your thumb, your first 2 fingers are the only 3 strings you use in fingerstyle in this piece. As you pull all 3 strings, that's a block. So E minor to A7 now sounds like this. Then D, same thing. I'm going to review that one more time. Thumb is always on bass note. These 2 fingers are always on string 3 and string 2. I'm pulling those strings that I would be picking or strumming with the pick. I'm pulling them. So here are the 3 strings that are getting pulled at the same time. Bass note, 3rd string, 2nd string. Bass note, 3rd string, 2nd string. So E, block, D, block. Let's keep going. So we got D, D over F sharp. Sounds very, very nice. G, bass line is working well. G, D over F sharp. E minor, A7. 3 notes. E minor, A7. So let's start at bar 9. 1 and 2 and 3 and D over F sharp, G chord, D over F sharp, G, D over F sharp, 3 notes, block, 3 notes, block. Now we're at the B minor. F sharp, G, D over F sharp, B minor again, F sharp, 3 notes for the E minor, block, D, block. So just as a review, I highly encourage you to play the broken chord pattern with the pick first. And really dig into that bass line. Music is so much more listenable if there's an identifiable bass line happening throughout the entire structure of the song. Then put the pick down and try the same broken chord pattern using your thumb and making that bass note ring out. Keep a fair bit of pressure down here so that that note actually rings out through the entire part of the chord while you're doing the 3-2-3-2-3. And you'll find that to be so much more satisfying. Playing the melody over the top of is such a very satisfying sound. Take your time, do everything slowly. Slow practice is always the best practice. You will never ever regret spending time practicing slowly, because the fingers develop a memory and then they start going to the correct places on the fretboard automatically, or to the pick hand automatically. I highly encourage you to get your friends together and play these parts. Put several players on each part if you wish. Just make sure the accompaniment, whether it's being strummed, broken chord style with a pick, or finger style, broken chord style, just make sure that the accompaniment is not overpowering the melody, the tab part. The melody always needs to be heard. It's the key thing in any song. I appreciate you so much buying this particular arrangement. There are 2 other Christmas arrangements you can check out as well. More arrangements for finger style, for broken chord style, for strum style, with melody played by tab. Lots more free guitar content coming your way on video via YouTube. Appreciate you subscribing and watching these and learning from them and downloading the PDFs that go with them and really dig into those. Check out the store at guitarsmarts.com for all of my new arrangements which are coming out fall 2018. Love to have you do that. Thank you so much for allowing me to do this for you today. See you on the next video.